Yeah, baby. Yeah. Let's find that angle. Thereabouts. The Mac is back with another demo review. Hello, the initiated. My name is Markus Junikala, and today we are having a look at another Strezov sampling library. This one is called Percussion Essentials Extreme. It's not called X3M. I was too much of a dummy to figure it out myself and had to watch a video to hear what they call it, but that's what it is. So they have a bunch of percussion libraries, the Extreme series. I actually have, I think, a couple of those. I have the Framedrum one, which I absolutely love. I love Framedrums. That's just one of the best percussive instruments ever. Just the sound of it is just so visceral and evocative. Very unique texture, kind of, pitched, but then very gritty. And yeah, anyway, we're not here to discuss my love for Framedrums, but I do love that instrument, and that library is also extremely good sounding. But they have a bunch of other ones. I think Taikos, Orchestral, Percussion as well. And from what I've gathered, Percussion Essentials that we have in front of here has pulled from all of those libraries what they consider to be the best parts of those libraries and put them in here, which sounds like a great concept. Obviously, not everybody necessarily needs a thoroughly comprehensive arsenal of Framedrum samples, but yeah, I mean, the concept is really cool. Really excited to check this out and see what it sounds like. Strezov Sampling did send me this library. Again, this was the other one they sent along with Afflatus, which I absolutely loved. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It is my favorite string sample library now. And this was the other one. So again, thank you for sending this over. Very much appreciated. As always, all opinions, both positive and negative, are my own. I haven't been asked to say anything one way or the other, nor would I do that. So that's really the transparency statement here. Also, you'll only be hearing Percussion Essentials Extreme. Nothing added, nothing taken away unless we go in and tweak stuff off, of course. I only have a limiter on the master bus, as always, to bring the level up to a decent level. For this video, we will probably have to ride the limiter as we go along. So if you see me tweak with the mouse here, that's probably what I'm doing. I'm not browsing the internet or anything like that. Tweaking the limiter, as we are dealing with a percussion library, some of those transients will, drive into the limiter harder than, softer, less transient sounding sounds. But the limiter is as transparent as I can make it, and I'll just try and keep it from clipping. But in case clipping occurs, it is the limiter, it's not the library, and we'll adjust accordingly. I think that pretty much covers the fundamentals here. Once you open this up, let me open the browser here just a bit. You're gonna unfortunately not see my pretty face here, but it is what it is. When you open it up, this is what you see. You have cymbals and cymbals, gongs, and impacts, ensembles, small n, miscellaneous, and then solos. So that is the main folder categorization, and otherwise this is the interface that opens up. I thought we would start with ensembles to give ourselves really the best look at as broad of a view as we can, and then go into the finer details from there. I have to be honest, I haven't quite figured out this layout here. It is slightly confusing to me because you open the snapshots here, which are the same ones that open down here, as far as I can tell. You got djembe, flams are actually apparently not entirely the same thing, but many of these are similar. Do they have ethnics and frame drums? No. So, don't quite understand this difference here. What I do understand is this gives you obviously the kind of style main category, so low ensembles, high, and so forth, and then it opens up this different folder, which, as far as I can tell, gives like a different style or selection of sounds. So one thing we could do is just go through these and play each one, because it appears that it only opens up, you know, these few notes here. So I think that's what we're going to do to start with, and then see what the snapshots, how they actually differ to this. I'm too much of a dummy to know the difference here. What I do know is once you open these up, they seem to open up the kind of broad view selection of them all over this this keyboard. But let's start plowing through these. So low ensembles, and then we'll just go through the different names here. Let me just raise this up a bit. So can I actually, no, I can't do anything with that. So cool, kind of a trash can like, very sort of, I like that transient puddle that it makes. There's a bit of a shout embedded in that, which is very subtle. Like, it's so subtle that you necessarily wouldn't pick it up very easily. It's kind of like a textural, pitchy thing there. Very nice sense of depth in that one. Let me just adjust the monitor for myself, but very nice low presence there. Very nice rumble, very tasteful, makes it feel big, but it's not excessive. Very nice texture. That's pretty much a perfect balance to my taste. Then we go into high ensembles. What I really like about these is the playability. Again, that's really seems to be one of the really nice things about Strezov sampling stuff. And frankly, this is the thing I love about all of the sample libraries that I love, that they are really playable hands-on, and you can dig into the feel of it. You can become the player, which really gives better performances in my estimation. So same thing seems to be present here. Ooh, very, very crisp and sharp, but it's not intrusive at all. Sounds like a, what would that be? Some kind of a metal tray almost, or something. Yeah, that's really a really nice sound. Wonder what it is. Could be a number of things. Super nice, extremely playable. I'm just going to check if you can even see me play these, because I'm at the far end of the keyboard, but apparently you can. Yeah, that's... Again, I don't know what that is. It's like some kind of a metal plate. You can hear that it has a bit of give, like a bit of flex. That's extremely nice. And it's super playable, if you didn't notice me going crazy on that. Fists of Fury. Super nice, really sweet. Reminds me of that kind of a very loose drum head. Gives you that proper kind of wet, sort of, not flam in the flam sense, but like super nice. I like that I can't actually pinpoint many of these. Like, it tells me that they're pretty unique sources, even if I know kind of the instrument, or if we would know the instrument. They seem very tuned in a very or treated in a very, very unique and special way. That's a very, very nice snare. Obviously, that has a very specific style, but man. And these are so playable. Like, I love that I can actually pull these off. So, very nice. As a drummer, I don't know if I can call myself a drummer if I haven't actually touched a drum kit in many, many years, but I do play the drums. I did play the drums. Obviously, I still continue to play on the keyboard, but, you know, yeah, this is super fun. Fist Fighter. really nice. Really nice. There's like tiny textural details are popping in here and there. I love that you can hear every single aspect of the instrument, like tiny details of the stick hitting, and again, this sounds to me like some kind of a maybe treated bass drum, but it has a very unique sound. I really love that it's not like, oh, that's immediately like a taiko or a kick drum or something. So they've really gone specific on the textures and created really unique stuff. I'll probably actually end up using this on the soundtrack, so that's super exciting. I gotta play this a bit more. Kind of an interesting feel to it, because I'm trying to like play very carefully and see what triggers what at what sort of a velocity level, and it seems like when you play it, you get that initial transient hit, and then you get this following kind of a wetter sounding, not in a wet like in a reverb sense, but wet in a kind of splashy sense. This layer of the kind of tail. That's pretty interesting. It was kind of difficult to really very specifically find the texture that I was after, which can be obviously a tricky thing when you want to go specific. But sometimes in a lot of drum parts, you want to have the kind of variance that creates uncertainty and randomness, and that benefits the part. But obviously, that's not always the case. But clackers. Very nice, texturally rich, everything hits very nicely. That's super cool. You can never really have too many of these. One of the things I notice is that even with a lot of libraries where these kind of stick hits sound good, they're so specific to the song you're working on. Like, even when you know it's the right instrument to arrange in there, just the sound sometimes doesn't sit right. And obviously you have a good amount of control here. Close, Decca, Hall, Strezov really do these in a nice way, and it ends up really being useful. Sometimes with a library, with quite a few libraries, kind of the mic positions tend to not be so useful. Like you achieve a great sound pretty much in one specific place, but yeah. I'm happy they keep doing it the way they do. That's great. I mean, again, that hit, and then you get this splash of kind of a dispersed, diffused transient, like the initial transient, but you get this really rich, hard-hitting sound. And I like it because it means I can use less and less stuff to, you know, oftentimes you want to layer percussion to make it sound massive and big, but a lot of these, and again, this is what I loved about a flatus, or I don't know, still don't know how you pronounce that, but I like that I'm hearing sounds that I'm completely superbly happy with, and I'm not left wondering, oh, I wish the strings had a bit of more top end or a bit of meat or sort of fullness. They're just like ready to go, and I'm not left wanting. And it's with these, you get a similar feeling like, hey, I don't need to layer 6 different things to make this thing, you know, pull off what I'm trying to do. I do notice that the velocity or the dynamic range doesn't go to a very super quiet level, because just now I tried to play pretty quietly. Let me actually check that. Okay, so this is just about as quiet as I can play it. Like, it's not possible to actually trigger it quieter, I don't think, with any keyboard. And that's good. But it's super difficult to, on this Doepfer at least, to play so quietly that I would actually be able to play those. Like, I'm playing really carefully there. But it's still pushing to that kind of medium territory. Obviously, this can easily be adjusted and fixed in terms of how it's reading it. I can adjust the keyboard, so forth, or in the MIDI editor. Not a huge issue, but I would do some optimization myself for that. But obviously, this varies because depending keyboard on keyboard, I know most people don't play stuff on such a heavy-weighted keyboard. I prefer this because it gives me the most amount of control. But, you know, this might feel a hell of a lot more intuitive with a less heavy one. But I'm really happy that the quiet dynamics are there. I oftentimes try and use as quiet of dynamics on the percussion as I can, because these kind of quiet, close mic'd, close recorded percussion sounds, they give off a massive sound. Like, you can have this huge sound and very evocative, very captivating sound by recording really quiet, and close up you get this big resonant low end. And I tend to use percussion as much as I can in that range because it tends to sound at its best. And oftentimes you can take that quieter sound and then just use volume to create a sense of impact or heaviness. Obviously, texturally you can't get those big sound, kind of big transient heavy hit sounds, but then you can layer the two. I'm getting off track here, but you know, something to mention. Ethnic ensembles, Kali. Very nice. I love how when you're playing, you can hear that it's sort of triggering a sample sort of a bit sort of offset from where you're actually playing. That creates a lot of realism and variation in there. And this is exactly what I noticed in some of the other ones, but couldn't really put into words. I still don't know if that's a very good way of putting it, but yeah, these are super nice. And again, what I love about it is that it feels inspiring. It feels like, hey, I want to write a track based on this. It's not just a great sound, but there's that kind of an X factor, like that musical element. Mumbai Chase. That's where you can really hear what I'm talking about in terms of those, you know, offset samples that it sort of, you play the note and then it kind of disperses out these kind of tiny samples around it, which creates really thick, interesting textures, and also adds that realism. Really interesting combo of things. And again, you can hear it's not that only those random kind of dispersed samples are jumping in and out, but there's actually different samples that aren't there all the time that sort of are also dispersed in between. That's really nice. Urban Warriors. Again, a very unique thing. Some kind of slap box wood something. I can't pinpoint it, but again, very nice that it's unique. I like the mid section here the most. When you play really loud, you get that full sound, but here I don't find the balance is, you know, smooth in relation to how I would be playing it. The quiet one is very, it almost sounds like a kind of a old school MPC sampled something. Has a bit of that kind of digital-ness to it. And that sort of reverb cutoff. So I don't find it blends perfectly with the mids. It does bring a nice variance to the, like if you get a lower dynamic hit in there, kind of this counter rhythm almost to it. Well, not a counter, but kind of a bounce back. Oh yeah, Samurai. Very nice, super nice sample. I can't remember really hearing this in many other places. Super cool. Yes, that's badass. All right, then you have Tupans Ensembles, multiple different ones. very big, immersive, hard-hitting. Nice sound. Again, getting to this quiet velocity is very difficult. It seems like such a small area. You can obviously adjust it, but super nice. I've never played a Tupan myself. Sounds like it's difficult to play quiet. I don't know. Super massive, cinematic, hard-hitting instrument anyway. Very nice imaging and textures. They don't really go super quiet on the dynamic, but I don't know if that's kind of a part of the instrument or not, or just the sampling methodology here. But yeah, cool. Then we got Tupans Ensembles 3. I'm assuming the number refers to the number of instruments. I don't know. Bit of too much clipping there on the limiter. I don't think that's actually not that kind of compression distortion. That's not coming from the limiter as far as I can tell. Yeah, same thing here with the velocity. I would adjust the curve a bit, or the zones, to make it a bit easier to access the lower end. Very nice. I do love myself some ringing drums. It's just that's probably what I love about Framedrums as well, is just they have these kind of nice rings, resonance and harmonics and all those tiny gritty byproduct type of sounds there. What I love about this, it remains tremendously playable. Like, you could hear all the individual notes very clearly, not losing any transient information there. You can distinctly hear it, but then you still have this ringiness, and oftentimes it's very difficult to combine a ringy drum with having that clear sense of that transient stick hit, or whatever they use to hit that. So that's really well done. Taikos Ensembles for low. Really nice, the transient hit. It's very, very subtle, very sort of sparse, delicate, nice. Not a lot of dynamics on these one way or the other. Hard to get quiet and loud on that specific one. Really nice. I love that woody click somewhere in between. Just sounds like two, you know, wood sticks, whatever the heck they call them, are sort of hitting one another in between. Very nice imaging, great balance. Again, we don't have a super quiet dynamic there. Still kind of like has a bit more transient heaviness than I would ask for. But yeah, it's very nice otherwise. Very, very good. Side hits. Really cool. You can never really have too many of these. Again, these Taiko side hit sounds, they sound so good. It's a good, or kind of a cinematic orchestral alternative to snares, which are really good. These are really nice. Again, that's the quietest dynamic I can play, and you can still hear a bit of heaviness to it. It's not like super soft in the touch. Very nice. And again, not a kind of a softer touch at the end, so it kind of keeps that sharpish contact point. Really nice. Again, that beautiful ring, very tasteful, kind of reminds me of a frame drum in that sense, but super nice. Taikos Ensemble 3, Djembe Daiko. beautiful imaging, beautiful frequency spectrum balance, hitting very nicely, not over compressed. And again, here I would ask for, or want more, kind of a softer touch at the lower dynamic. But that's a preference. Shime Daigo Flam. Kind of silly to demonstrate flams with just like repeatedly playing a flam note, but you get the idea. Really nice. So that's a single, that's a flam. So good idea to mix those up. Taiko high. They've really nailed that kind of that medium transient area. Like that's a horrible description, but like the transients are so present, so clear and pristine. They're not harsh, they're not pushy. They just sit there, and you can hear that they don't take up a lot of space from the mix, so they're going to be wonderful to use. And it's just the imaging is beautiful. Yeah, very nice. Taiko on the rim. Yeah, another kind of more resonant take on that. Very nice. Taikos Combinations. So this one is Last Stand. Cool. Way of the Fist. That was a reference to Timo. That low end lands beautifully. It's meaty, slightly wet. Okay, that sounds wrong, but meaty, slightly wet, very planted, very grounded. That gives that kind of tribal sound. And in fact, I have a use case very specifically in mind for this. It lands so well. It kind of plants itself down there. Very good. Tribes. cool. Again, very tastefully resonant one. Again, a lot of the things I love about the frame drum really brought to Taikos. I don't think I've heard a ton of taiko treatment done in this same kind of a way. So it's beautiful because it gives you more different tools for the kind of same utility, but obviously in a different area of the frequency spectrum. So that's pretty cool. What I'm kind of missing there is like when you played the low velocity stuff, that it would get slightly less resonant, because here if I play, there's that resonance stays consistent, so it's continuously sort of, you know, staying there, and then becomes a bit dull for the ear. So if I played quieter, it would be nicer if it dipped down, so you would get this kind of undulating sense for that resonance as well. So you wouldn't get this note all the time. Obviously, with a resonant instrument, it's going to be there always to a degree, but, you know, a bit of fluctuation there would be beneficial. Game of chairs. So that's a bit aggressive to my taste. And again, you don't get, even with the low velocity, it's still sharpish, the attack. Framedrum Ensembles. Now we're talking. Yeah. Yeah, give me those Framedrums. Rattlesnakes. A demonstration is a bit silly in the sense that you would typically mix these different sounds together, obviously, which we're going to have a look at once we go to the combined patch, but that's a super nice sound. That rattling is really nice. And obviously, again, the continuous resonant pitch gets a bit boring to the ear, but that's easily mitigated in the actual arrangement of putting that in selectively as opposed to just playing it as the only note. Very nice. Again, for example, here, I love the quiet velocity dynamic layer here, because the touch is different. It's not just like a brought down same kind of a sharper hit, but it's actually very soft. Yeah, I mean, I could play that all day. I mean, that pretty much has a perfect balance to me and my taste and my setup here out of the box. Super nice, beautiful sound. Again, that kind of meaty, wet, planted sound. Super nice. Beautiful sound. I'm left wanting just the last bit of dynamic right at the top as well as at the bottom. Okay, maybe the bottom isn't. I wish there was a bit more room to trigger that velocity, but that's easily adjustable. And I wish that top end, like that hard hit, had just a bit more top end to that, but I think that could be just fixed with compression, maybe saturation. Cool layer. It's interesting that I'm hearing more of the dynamic balance that I prefer in the Framedrum, and it happens to be the library that I have from the X3M series, which, by the way, I love, absolutely love the dynamic balances. There are never, I don't think, thought that I would want more of that kind of soft lower end. So yeah, hard to really comment on how they are on the Taikos and Tupans and etc. Djembe Ensembles. Ooh, there's quite a lot of different choices here. Pretty much perfect here. Nice soft touch, low end, low velocity. Beautiful cinematic imaging. Frequency balance is perfect. Same thing here. Stellar. Same thing here, but it's obviously a more reverberant, distant sound. Same thing here. These seem to be super solid. How can I get this out of here? bit overboard for a low focused sound like that. My playing, that is. Sounds beautiful, sounds stunning. I love the puffy transient there in the lower dynamic. Very, very, very nice, very pleasant. Yeah, these are some of the best djembes I've ever heard. These are all so well done. Oh, whoa, that's so good. I mean, I'm just going through these because it's clear that these are all just stellar. But this takes my breath away. I mean, listen to that. That's insanely good. Same thing here. This is just crazy good. Bit of triplet Flaming at the end of that. Then we got Djembe Ensemble 3, so just gonna quick plow through these because I'm just gonna play these all day otherwise. Wow. That resonance gives you perfect energy, just like inspires you to write a piece around that, because it's like, ooh, there's something happening here. Really loving these brushes, like they're not at all harsh. They're super crisp, pleasant. It will cut through a mix very nicely. And I love that you have so many different options for slightly different, textures and tones. That can really help a ton with making a section, perfect versus good. And that detail, I can basically hear the player there. Like the details of the transient and that imaging is stunning. And listen to that, like low velocity just gives this soft, very nice texture. Like this is what I wish every single one of these would have. And you have those flams there at the end. Then you have rolls. Okay, let's pull that limiter down. These are actually really nice. I tend to play my rolls in, if possible, just because it gives me more control, and I can't really control how they recorded the rolls. These sound really nice. I love this brush one. I don't think I've ever heard this one being done. And I'm immediately thinking about like writing something more soundscapey with that. Put some distortion, some reverb on it, and you're done. But yeah, even if I prefer to do it myself, obviously if there's something here that just does it perfectly, then there's no point in me playing it. Oh, that Djembe Daiko one is a very nice texture. I like that they've done these quieter ones as well. It's going to be useful. All right, so we've gone through all of this, and that was the point where I explained that I don't actually know how this whole thing works. But what I did notice is when you actually open one of these, then what happens is you get these colors here, but as far as I can tell, changing stuff here won't change what it plays. I have to poke this a bit to understand how this is laid out. Oh, okay, so I think I see now. So this, let's see, this dictates what is in this zone. And what's in here now is fists of theory, I think. Yes. All right, so this makes sense. So you first select the zone, which is probably indicated by the Z or Z, and then you go in here and choose what's in here. But I wonder if yeah, okay, this makes sense. Cool. Yeah, so we could play a few ensembles here then, because I was sort of confused about like what it loads up, and then yeah, but these are individual, like pre-made, preset ensemble things put together, and then you can obviously go in here into the zones, which are indicated by the color, and then choose what you want to have in there as a general, the instrument, the style, the category, and then go to the specific sound. Cool. Makes sense. Not as convoluted as what my brain initially thought. So, let's do ensembles. Let's do Djembe, because it was so good. Djembe, and then try and combine things here, or just play something with it. I was gonna say something which I thought was decently important, but I cannot remember. So let's try and see, find something we like, and then play that. These are a lot quieter than the individual ones, obviously, because you have a wide range of sounds which are only to be balanced against one another. So let me try and find a limiter spot, and let me try and play something. Oh, okay, so seems like they've really pulled down the main control here. Or did I do it? Who knows? Let's zero that out. Very nice. Yeah. Obviously, having the massive hands to do specifically what you want in real time depends on the sound you're after, and then, you know, good luck having enough hands. But obviously, MIDI is our friend, and you probably want to program that. Anyway, let's do Djembe 6 main hits. See what that is like. And just to be clear, I do work with these patches primarily, like unless I have a specific part where I want to, you know, have one instrument and then just dedicate it to that section, then I'll go for the individual ones. But oh yeah, what I was going to say, at some point you can obviously build your own stuff here. You can obviously see, you can load and save stuff. And again, if you want to create your own ensemble, you can just choose these zones and build the sounds you're after. And actually, now that I think about this, this is a super fast, actually very nice way of doing it, because you just go to the zones again, and that mitigates much of what I just said about having giant hands. You can put them anywhere you want, just play stuff with one hand. So this zone thing, this is not a limitation of the library. You can build the ensembles you want to have and save it as a thing of its own. So no issue there. But, you know, again, I'm just demonstrating this today, so that's why I'm playing these pre-made ones. nice, meaty, beautiful. Just choose the combination of things you want to go with, and that's it. That's all you need. And playing your parts, you're done. Ethnics and frame drums. Oh, we're getting to my sweet spot here. Oh, yeah. So first of all, like as you probably saw, just gonna test the sounds first and find some kind of combo that I'm feeling and just play it. So, oh, that's loud. Beautiful. Had to do a bit of drummer positioning here to play it more like a drum, but again, you can combine the zones as you wish. Really nice sounds. That is perfect. This is really nice. Just stunning sounds. Ensemble's high. I suspect this kind of combines. Okay, we do have some low stuff there as well. But again, you can, these are useful when you know that your, the part you're working on is happening in a certain part of the frequency spectrum. So that's why you often see high, medium, low breakdowns of these kind of patches. This is a perfect sound. I love that. So it says whips. It's just a whip on piece of metal. I don't know. That's perfect. Super nice. Really, really good. I'm not even playing with any of the mic positionings here, but bit of balancing I would do there for the... Obviously I would first select the actual drums that I would go for, because I'm just trying to make whatever work I can with my hands. But yeah, super nice sounds regardless. Just need to select the ones and then know the dynamics so you can actually play balance the playing better. You have a ensemble for rolls as well, so I suspect all the rolls are here. Yep, they're here. We went through those, so we're not going to do that now anymore. Ensemble Taikos, they should be good. Let's bump up that limiter a bit. Get this party going. Yeah, very cool. Really love those. I believe they are side hits, but yeah, Taikos 2. very cool. Could play that all day, but I think we heard enough. And then you have Tupans. Just realized we're only going through one folder here, but how long has this been going? Only an hour and 25 minutes, that's fine. Tupans. Very nice. I love how this has a very kind of grittier, raspier, rattling top end. Really gives you a lot of good use there. All right, so I think we went through the ensembles there. Let's see what we're gonna do. Otherwise, we do have cymbals, gongs. Probably gonna touch on those really briefly for the sake of time, but just to show you what they are like. So again, it opens up this whatever preset or initialized thing this is here. Cymbals, piatti, open, got gongs. So you got different, you know, speeds here, individual cymbals. Tam-tams sounded really smooth and nice. So cymbals, much there. Then you got small metals. This is really cool. That is piercing. Ooh, that one is really pleasant. I love that they have a selection of interesting things here. All of these have beautiful imaging, especially the more sort of subtle ones. But the coin, really useful to add something like that in a percussive section where you feel you need something. Obviously, this would be very quiet in there. And also, difficult to find an anvil on its own. So then we have epic metals and impact. Oh, fuck me. That's really nice. Urukai. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. That is really great sounding. Again, super planted, great imaging. Again, that's something that would just not trigger, initiate me to just write a track around that. It's so inspiring as a sound. Man flesh. I love that these people at Strezov are Lord of the Rings fans. It's a cool addition. Cool. Some of these don't have a lot of quiet velocity there. Obviously, they're called epic metal, so one would presume you would play them hard. And also, some of them have had a bit tad too much reverb, but that's obviously fixable, adjustable with the mics. So again, same thing here. I believe we went through this kind of individually, and then the snapshots open up these, these selections, combinations of these. So we're not gonna play those separately, but yeah, a lot of great imaging here, and oftentimes cymbals can be very harsh and pushy. Obviously, some of them were super aggressive, but for the most part, very pleasant, smooth to listen to. Small and miscellaneous. So we got various. Let's do it this way. I'm not going to go through all of these, but open up these ensembles and play the ensembles, and that will be it for this section. I love this. Such a... The imaging is perfect. And that's going to respond so well to distortion, reverb. Not that it necessarily needs to, but it feels like it's literally happening here in front of me. Super nice. I love stuff like that. And again, beautiful imaging. You can hear the tiny tactile transients in there. Really nice. A lot of stuff I love about that. For some reason, like I don't like on Eldridge when I wrote it, I found a really good clock for Even Death May Die. But you know, it's hard to find those kind of things. They're pretty under a rock in my estimation, especially good ones. Don't know what the difference is between clocks and clicks if it's done with a single letter or as opposed to written. Seems pretty similar. Maybe it's just a mistake. I don't know. Orchestral 1. Interesting. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, obviously in an orchestral context, these are sometimes used depending on who's writing the music. I'm not going to sing anything there out of copyright, but it's the time of the season. Well, actually, Christmas went, so we're not allowed to sing anything. Shakers. You can actually never have too many shakers. Well, you can, but hard to find good shakers. And then oftentimes, like, depending on the track, they will either work or not. So good to have a good selection of good ones so you can really pinpoint the one for your track. A bit harsh on the top end. I would change a bit of the reverb and shave off a bit of that top end. A lot of these can get heavy on the ear, but depends on the kind of shaker stuff you're doing. Individual hits, yes. For consistent kind of shakery stuff, maybe not. Cool. Then we have the last one, which is solos. Now this is really interesting, and actually highly, I would praise this decision overall. Just I haven't played a single note of it, but conceptually really good, because many percussion libraries tend to be kind of ensemble focused, and that's great for like big orchestral stuff, but then sometimes it's good to go from a section that has a single percussion instrument and then kind of break into this full orchestral thing. I have a very dry mouth. And that makes my voice very unpleasant to listen to. Let's do the ensemble route here. Solos, Djembe 10. I guess that's the inch size. So a massive 10-inch Djembe. Beautiful sound, very soft, pleasant, balanced. Very, very nice to listen to. And again, I love this because, like, the power of music isn't like you'd think a symphonic orchestra would sound the biggest and best for everything where you want to go big, but sometimes a chamber ensemble will sound bigger in the context. And again, for a track, whether it's an ensemble or a solo instrument, just depends on how it's done, how the music works. So this is really nice to have. And again, this sounds massive, really. Very nice. Gotta love that low end on the djembe. We have a djembe 14. Yep. Yeah, it gives you a different tone. Cool. Cool. A lot of stuff to choose from. Solos, Framedrums. Okay. Let's get into this. missing a bit of that like soft resonant sound there, to my taste, my very detailed frame drum preferences. Orchestral. Very nice snare. Doesn't go very quiet on the velocity front. That jump is very clear. Ooh, this is nice. Super nice. I really love this quiet. Wait, that really cool. Nice. Okay, rolls. Well, let's do those quickly. Obviously, modulation controllable. Taikos. Cool. Gives you a sort of more focused sound being a solo. So some additional sounds from Taikos solos, various. Cool. So obviously you can see from the list here, Cajon. Yeah. Cool. I think we did it. Yes, we did. We went through it. So wrapping this up, a lot of cool stuff. Best djembes, pretty much I've heard. I'm gonna have a look here in again to kind of refresh my memory. Nice smooth cymbals. Yeah, a lot of good stuff in the Taiko Tupan department. Really, really good stuff. What I like about this is really the playability. Again, Strezov seemed to be really at the forefront of, like, when it comes to recording and getting the imaging right. Really, really like that. And again, for the most part, the reverbs were, close to perfect, with a few of the exceptions where I said they were a bit on the hefty side, especially for the high frequency dominant sounds. They tend to feed into that reverb quite heavily. But yeah, very, very impressed by this, and really going to be using a bunch of these. Those djembes are so good. But yeah, this seems like a really good addition to the lineup if you don't want to or can't get every extreme percussion library. This really distills that down to the essence. And again, like if you have so much tweakability here with the close Decca and Hall balances, and they actually give you very good amount of control in there. But with a lot of this imaging and the reverberation, it's really, really spot on and tastefully done to my taste. They do have this align function here, which really further enhances the versatility of the library. So what it does, you have this kind of following tail layer, which really controls how it aligns with the initial, transient hit, the stick hitting the drum and that being recorded, and then you have this kind of a spatial or other mic in relation to that. And this actually is something a lot of engineers do manually. If they can, they spend a lot of time aligning these tails or these different mics with the close ones to really make sure the drums hit super, super hard. So if you hear something in here that sounds good to you, but it doesn't quite feel right to you, then obviously play with the mics. But this is really something that you can adjust a bit, and then something, locks in place because the phasing aligns perfectly to what you're after. So this is really cool that they included this, because it really adds a lot of diversity, a lot of flexibility and utility to this library. Obviously, you got your EQs here, transient attack, transient sustain, saturation, etc. As you know, I don't get super technical with my demos because I just want to show you the thing out of the box and generally what it sounds like, but good to briefly, touch on these. I really love that you can actually quite easily build your own ensembles. It is far faster than what I initially understood. As you know, again, I like to go into these pretty blind to see how the interface, opens up to me as I use it. And this was pretty fast even for me to wrap my head around. Hall, Decca, close, obviously got the levels here as well. So, yeah, good stuff. But yes, super, super impressed. Really liked, oh yeah, a lot of the stuff we went through in the beginning, really liking these. Very specific, the sounds that are very unique. They sound great, but you can't quite pinpoint what the instrument specifically is. This was one of my favorite parts here. And I have to refresh my memory because, if we do demos that are almost 2 hours long, this is going to happen. So this was really, really cool. These unique, genuinely unique sounds. These are going to be used most definitely. Love the whips, the fists of fury. Then we had a bunch of this really cool ethnic stuff. Really, really, really good. Tupans sounded great. Didn't go very quiet, so that's one thing to consider. Taiko mids, I especially love those side hits and the sticky stick stuff. That's really cool. And then yeah, a ton of different choices to go through. Framedrums weren't quite as extensive as I expected. They kind of pulled different things from the Framedrum Extreme than what I expected, which by the way sounds really, really great, as I did mention. The djembes were out of this world. Like I'm not left wanting anything else from this department. They had so many different tones and textures. That was super, super, super nice. So yeah, anything else I want to touch on? Not really. And also the additional small miscellaneous stuff they had in there. Really cool, the coins and things like that. So yeah, that's a very solid showing. Again, they have the sale on. It's going until the 6th of January. So from today, that's 5 days. So if you're into this, hopefully you bump into this demo. Hopefully it's of utility to you. What is the price right now? Let me check that for you. Obviously, I haven't been asked to say this, so it's just me bumbling around and looking this up myself. Obviously, you can go to the Strezov site. So, Percussion Essentials. This is €249 plus VAT if you have to pay that. Let me check a few things. So yeah, sale is still going on, but apparently this library is not on sale. So yeah, doesn't seem like it is. So $249 plus VAT if you pay VAT. Oh yeah, so sale is up to 60% off choir and string. So that would explain it. But yeah, I do want to thank Strezov again for sending me this over. This obviously has been super fun. As you can hopefully see, I love playing percussion on here. I could just do this for hours and hours. And this is a very, very solid showing. And like I said, a lot of the stuff is really top tier that I've heard. So I think that's enough rambling here. Let's wrap this up. Again, if this was useful to you, or if you have any other thoughts or anything you want to share, let me know down in the comments. Again, hopefully this was of utility to you. I do strongly recommend you go check this out. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Finished.